Have you ever wondered what journey a fluffy dough takes before it transforms into the classic Domino's pizza that arrives at your door? In this detailed account, we travel from the field where the wheat is grown all the way to the moment when the freshly baked pizza is sliced and placed inside its iconic cardboard box. Pizza was born in Naples toward the end of the 17th century, but today it is consumed at a breathtaking pace. In the United States alone, around 3 billion pizzas are served each year, which translates to 350 slices every second. The business exceeds $46 billion annually in that country alone, and Domino's Pizza, founded in 1960 by brothers Tom and James Monaghan in Ypsilanti, Michigan, has become one of the leading forces in that market, with more than 15,000 stores spread across some 85 countries and a workforce of over 290,000 people. Domino's true innovation was not just the dough recipe, but the logistics. In the early 1960s, home delivery was a rarity. Tom Monaghan designed a more robust corrugated cardboard box than usual, capable of retaining heat, protecting the toppings, and stacking without crushing the pizza, allowing multiple pizzas to be transported in a single trip. In 1973, he launched the famous 30 minutes or less promise. If the pizza took longer, the customer didn't pay. That guarantee skyrocketed the chain's popularity and paved the way to multi-million-dollar sales. Behind every great pizza, the dough comes to life in a choreography that combines baking discipline with industrial precision. First, high-protein wheat flour, the key to elasticity, is weighed on electronic scales calibrated to 1/10 of a gram, along with refined salt to regulate osmosis, sugar to feed fermentation and promote browning, active dry yeast awakened after months of dormancy, and a stream of vegetable oil to soften the crumb and facilitate stretching. Next, a 250-kilogram spiral mixer takes in the dry ingredients and, in a time sequence, adds purified water at 26 degrees Celsius to avoid stressing the yeast, and finally, the oil. Its hooks rotate at a controlled speed for 8 minutes, interweaving the gluten proteins until they form a smooth, elastic network that traps tiny pockets of air, producing a supple, slightly warm dough with a subtle sheen. The mixture then moves into stainless steel troughs where it rests at 30 degrees Celsius and 75% relative humidity. The yeast metabolizes sugars and releases carbon dioxide, which puffs up the dough, and traces of alcohol, which enhance the flavor, in a primary fermentation of about 30 minutes. Once it has doubled in volume, an operator pours the mother dough into a hydraulic cutter that divides it into identical dough pieces, each of which enters an automatic rounder whose rotating domes stretch the surface until hundreds of perfect spheres of exact weight are created. These balls descend by conveyor into lightly oiled plastic trays and, as if entering a planned hibernation, go into storage chambers at 4 degrees Celsius for a minimum of 12 and a maximum of 48 hours. There, a slow secondary fermentation refines the texture, develops organic acids, and deepens the aroma. The low temperature also strengthens the gluten network, ensuring the dough will stretch without tearing once it reaches the restaurant. Before leaving the plant, each batch is stamped with the kneading time and its optimal usage window, visible via a QR code that guarantees traceability. Finally, the containers are loaded onto refrigerated trucks that maintain the cold chain until their destination, where the dough is awakened, tempered, and awaits its turn to become the light, crispy base of the pizza that will arrive steaming hot at the customer's table. Each restaurant receives sealed trays of dough portions labeled with production date and time. Transport is by refrigerated truck, preserving the cold chain so as not to alter the yeast's activity. Upon arrival, the dough balls are placed on proofing racks at room temperature for at least 45 minutes before use, allowing them to regain elasticity. At the assembly station, the pizzaiolo sprinkles a thin layer of semolina or cornmeal on the work surface. He takes a dough ball, gently presses the center, and begins to rotate it in circular motions, pushing the air toward the edge. The perimeter forms a thicker ring, the future crust, while the center becomes thin. Some skilled employees toss the dough into the air, where centrifugal force expands it evenly. Finally, the dough is laid onto a metal screen that gives it its exact diameter and ensures an even bake. From the fields of the American West to the preparation table, the tomato's journey is swift. Giant harvesters cut the plants and, using optical sensors, instantly separate ripe fruits, which fall into 24-ton trailers bound for the plant. There, a water channel removes stones and dirt before the tomatoes pass through a 95 degrees Celsius blanching bath that loosens their skins, which are then peeled off by high-pressure jets while rotating blades reduce the pulp to a silky puree. In stainless steel kettles, that puree is combined with olive oil, sautéed onions and garlic, salt, oregano, and a hint of basil, cooking gently for 90 minutes until it reaches the exact viscosity measured by a Brookfield viscometer. Finally, the thick sauce is pumped into 110 kilogram aseptic containers, sealed and labeled to embark in refrigerated trucks on the last leg to the restaurants, where a ladle will transform it into the aromatic base of each pizza. The mozzarella chosen by Domino's is produced in 10 kilogram blocks from pasteurized milk kept at 4 degrees Celsius and analyzed to verify fat, protein, and acidity levels. In coagulation tanks, dairy cultures and rennet are added. At 35 degrees Celsius, the mixture solidifies, the curd is cut into cubes, and the whey is drained. It is then heated in its own way to around 60 degrees Celsius, the pasta filata stage, which stretches the proteins and gives the cheese its characteristic fibrous texture. The mass is shaped, chilled rapidly to 4 degrees Celsius, lightly pressed and vacuum-packed with a QR code to trace its origin. The chilled blocks arrive at the Domino's facility, where a steel blade shredder transforms them into uniform strips of 4 by 20 millimeters. Before sealing the 5 kilogram bags, nitrogen is injected to reduce oxygen and extend shelf life without preservatives. These bags travel in temperature-controlled trucks and are stored in each restaurant at 4 degrees Celsius. They must be used within 7 days to guarantee even melting and perfect browning on the pizza. The pizzaiolo slides the base onto the semolina-dusted table and, without losing rhythm, dips his dosing ladle into the sauce bucket. 1 ladleful drops into the center, and with 3 smooth, concentric turns, it covers the dough in bright red, leaving a 1-thumb-wide border for the crust. The aroma of cooked tomato with oregano and garlic is released instantly. Immediately, with fingers spread to avoid compacting the cheese, he scatters 2 generous handfuls of shredded mozzarella, around 140 grams, that fall like irregular flakes, ensuring uniform melt and promising elastic strands when the pizza comes out of the oven. Next, he pulls out a tray of pepperoni, cured pork and beef discs seasoned with smoked paprika and black pepper. He arranges them in a spiral from the center outward, keeping an even spacing that guarantees crispy edges and balanced flavor in every bite. In under 40 seconds, the pizza is assembled. All that remains is for the oven conveyor to receive it and transform this composition into a bubbling, golden surface ready to be savored. When the assembled pizza reaches the oven mouth, a stainless steel conveyor belt, coated with a non-stick treatment and sanitized at scheduled intervals, feeds it into a perfectly sealed tunnel chamber preheated to 245 degrees Celsius. A system of modulating gas burners distributes heat from above and below. Convection fans move hot air at high speed, ensuring the base receives a uniform flow to avoid undercooked spots. As the belt advances at a steady pace, the natural moisture of the dough and toppings evaporates. The crust forms a golden crust. The cheese reaches between 88 and 92 degrees Celsius, the ideal temperature for melting and browning, and the pepperoni releases oils that sizzle and heighten the aroma. Infrared sensors mounted at the exit read the surface temperature of the crust. If the color doesn't match the optimal pattern, a microcontroller readjusts the belt speed or burner power in real time, lengthening or shortening the cooking cycle by critical seconds. The entire process usually takes between 6 and 7 minutes, after which the pizza emerges with a crisp base, puffed edge, and even browning that meet the chain standards. As soon as the pizza exits the cooking tunnel, the pizzaiolo picks it up with a perforated aluminum peel, letting excess flour fall, and slides it onto a food-grade polyethylene board. It rests for 10 to 15 seconds so the cheese settles and won't shift during cutting. Then a stainless steel, grade 40/20 rocker cutter, previously sanitized with disinfectant, oscillates in firm, precise motions to divide the pie into identical slices, 6, 8, or 12, depending on diameter and order specifications. Each cut is visually inspected to ensure the points converge at the center and no edge remains unseparated, making it easy to serve slices without pulling the cheese. Next, the pizza is pushed onto a waxed cardboard tray that acts as an insulator and placed into Domino's signature corrugated box. This container, made from virgin fibers resistant to grease, incorporates tiny lateral chimneys for air circulation and an internal embossed pattern that raises the pizza base a few millimeters. This allows steam to escape without condensing on the crust while retaining heat more effectively. A trained operator can fold, assemble, and secure 50 boxes in under 2 minutes thanks to a die-cut design requiring only 3 folds and a final snap. Each box receives a sticker with the order number, departure time, and a QR code linking to cooking data and ingredient batch traceability. Before leaving the line, the box is placed in a multi-layer insulated delivery bag, aluminized film, closed-cell foam, and textile lining that keeps the pizza above 60 degrees Celsius for at least 20 minutes. An infrared probe thermometer positioned at the oven exit allows the delivery person to verify the box's internal temperature and record the reading in the logistics app. In this way, the company ensures the product reaches the customer's door still steaming, with a crisp crust and perfectly melted cheese, fulfilling both quality standards and the fast service promise that distinguishes the chain. Beyond taste, Domino's controls every detail. Each batch of dough, sauce, and cheese carries a QR code linking to its origin and production date, making food safety audits easy. Any dough ball older than 72 hours in the store is discarded to guarantee freshness. State-of-the-art ovens recirculate heat and save up to 25% gas compared to earlier models. And Pizzaiolos complete a 6-week program covering hygiene, stretching techniques, thermal control, and customer service, ensuring every pizza meets the chain's highest quality standards. The next time you open the box and smell freshly baked dough, spiced tomato, and melting cheese, remember that behind that pizza lies an impressive machine. Farmers, plant operators, drivers, lab technicians, pizzaiolos, and delivery people all coordinated so that a simple craving becomes a delicious experience. Domino's dough journey illustrates how Neapolitan tradition merges with industrial innovation and precision logistics to feed millions of people every day.